pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball. Brad Lynch does it again and stays perfect for the 2008 season. 48 for 48 in save opportunities, and let the city celebrate.
Aloha and hello out there, everybody. What's going on? This is Miho from the Too Close to Call cast, coming to you with my co-host Pags for the Philly Fanatics podcast, where we are discussing the Phillies salvaging the West Coast trip by taking 2 out of 3 from the Padres. However, in between the last time we talked to you about the Philadelphia Phils, and now we almost have ourselves an entirely different team out there.
Is there any little part of you that think Gabe Kapler's like, yes, I get to flip around the lineup every week now?
I don't think it's happened yet, but I do think in a week or two he's going to look at it when maybe they go through a little bit of a rut and go, oh, my precious, thanks for coming back.
Finally. So, yeah, we talk about it. The Padres, after a sweep of the Dodgers, we go to San Diego, and we lose a little bit more than Game 1 in arguably one of our most productive players, Andrew McCutchen.
Andrew McCutchen tears his ACL, and the question that's being flown around is who's to blame for it, because the situation was McCutchen was on first base, and Segura hits a pop-up to second. Well, Segura doesn't run out of the box. The second baseman lets the pop-up drop, throws it to first, therefore Segura is out, and now McCutchen is in a rundown, and during the rundown tries to make a cut and blows out the knee. So people are pissed because, it should have been an infield fly rule. Well, that only happens on first and second base, so that's out right away. And if Segura runs, this doesn't happen. So the only blame to place is on Segura, and that's just tough to do because, he's typically a stand-up, hard-playing guy. I think it's just, to quote Lemony Schnicket's, a series of unfortunate events.
Ooh, that was a nice pull by you right there. It sucks, dude. McCutchen was one of my favorites to watch. He was just an all-around professional player. The reason the Phils gave him the 3-year deal was because he has had little to no injury history. So it really sucks that it happened now with us going into the long days of summer with the lineup we have.
Hopefully he'll be back for next year, but he is obviously done for this season. And luckily enough, the day before, the Phillies traded for a professional outfielder in Jay Bruce, who they thought would be coming off the bench for them. Well, not anymore, Jay. You are now this team's starting left fielder, which moves somebody to center field, and that would have been McCutchen, but who the hell is it now? It obviously didn't happen in game, but for the next day, they call up Adam Hazley, who started the year in Double-A, got called up to Triple-A, spent less than a week there, I think it was, and now he finds himself in San Diego. So about a month ago, he was dining somewhere in lovely Reading, Pennsylvania, getting ready to play Double-A ball, and now he finds himself staying at the Ritz-Carlton in San Diego trying to play some ball.
We've talked with Presley and other people who've had wild call-up stories, and that's pretty wild that you're in Reading, then you go to the Lehigh Valley, and then it's like, nope, we need you out here in San Diego. You're going to be facing the Padres. It's like, holy moly.
Oh, and on your way out here, McCutchen got hurt, so you're going to play every day for us as well.
Yeah, so what does that lead us at? We drop Game 1, Game 2, Hazley starts. Bruce, I don't think he had a bad at bat his entire 2 games against the Padres.
Looks like Jay Bruce was 6 for 11 in the 3 games after he entered in Game 1. He went 1 for 3 in Game 2, 3 for 4 with 6 RBIs. That's the game where he had 2 home runs and a double. And then in Game 3, he was 2 for 4 with a home run and a double. So him and Scott Kingery were the main reasons why this ball club took 2 out of 3, because the starting pitching is still not where we need it to be, with Aaron Nola getting hit around again. He took his first loss of the season, Pags. There goes my prediction. As of the first start in June, he takes the first L. In Game 2, I guess they got a decent start from Jared Eichhoff. 6 innings, 3 runs, no walks, 5 Ks. You're certainly going to take that out of what is typically your number 5. But then Jake Arrieta, for the first time this year, fails to go 5 innings in a start, goes 4 2/3, giving up 5 runs, but the offense was able to pick him up there. So with all of this being said now, Pags, we have ourselves a new batting order. We got Cesar Hernandez hitting leadoff, Harper second, Segura third, and then the rest of it filling out with Jay Bruce, as well as Scott Kingery settling into that third base role. He's officially taking over that starter description from Maikel Franco. First off, your thoughts on the lineup moving forward. I know they're now extremely thin in the outfield and probably have to make a move, but do you believe they'll be able to tread water until they can get that done closer to the deadline?
Well, at this point, if Scotty Jetpacks and Jay Bruce do what they did this past series, they're definitely going to be able to hold their own. They're definitely going to need a bat. I don't know if Jay Bruce is going to be I know he said he's an everyday player. He's played every day almost his entire career. So that's good to have, but you were picking him up with the expectations of he's not going to play every single day. So you're going to need somebody in the outfield. You're definitely going to have to pick up somebody as well as a pitcher.
Yes, that transitions into my next question for you, which is, in Game 2, Sir Anthony Dominguez looks probably the best he's looked all year, goes a scoreless inning with 2 strikeouts, and they bring him back the next day in Game 3 where he gives up a hit and a walk, and then on the walk, the 3-2 pitch, ball 4, you see him wince and grab his elbow. So now he was pulled for the game due to an injury and is probably going to end up at least on the 10-day injured list. And that, I think, is their 7th relief pitcher who's spent time on the injured list. What the hell do they have to do, man? First, to keep these guys healthy, and then second, to improve the staff, because it's clearly not going to be good enough based on what we saw in L.A. and even somewhat in Chicago to really advance if we were to make it to October.
For sure. They're going to have to bolster it. They're going to have to get everybody healthy. Hopefully Sir Anthony isn't anything serious. I'm praying for 10-day DL, not 60-day DL, because every time with an elbow with the pitcher, you never know what's going to happen. So you're going to have to look. You're going to have to talk to some teams, and before that July 31st trade deadline, we're going to have to make some moves if we truly are going for it this year. And the one name that everyone had been talking about out of the pen just got locked up for 3 years out of the Cubs with Craig Kimbrell. So you're going to have to go and look for somebody. I don't know who that is, but I sure hope Middleton and everybody are going to be looking.
You mentioned you may not know who that is, but in regards to just positional need for the Phillies, if you had to rank them, 1 being a position player, maybe an outfielder, 2 being a starting pitcher, and 3 being a bullpen piece, what would you rank in terms of priority there as they head towards the deadline next month?
I'd say starting pitching, because you need that third guy. Arrieta isn't going to wow you, but you hope that Arrieta is somewhat of his form. He's got playoff experience, and then with Nola, you need that third arm that you're positive can go out there and keep you in the game. Then I would go relief pitcher, then I would go bat.
I do agree with you. I think they need the arms and some sort of a combination package out there. They could put together a 4th outfielder with a starter or a 4th outfielder with a relief pitcher, but the starting pitching where it is today, with Aaron Nola's recent performance and Jake Arrieta with Nick Pavetta's most recent start, there's arguments still that Pavetta could be one of the 2 starters they use in the playoffs. Like, I don't feel comfortable with any starting pitcher that you're running out there right now, even Aaron Nola. And for the first week of June, that's a statement I didn't think that I would be saying.
Yeah, and especially since he has those issues where throwing in cold weather, and we've harped on this already, like the World Series is played in October. The playoffs are in October where it is a little colder. So Nola's going to have to get over that, and you hope he finds his groove again, and Arrieta kind of gives you 6-7 innings every single time he comes onto the mounds. I have faith that they're going to figure it out. There's enough people out there that are going to be selling this year that you hope you can get a quality starter, a quality relief pitcher, and someone that could come off the bench and give you a bat.
I agree. They're definitely going to make a move. It's just a matter of if that move is going to be enough to put them over the top, as well as I find myself to be more of a window guy, to where with this core, they're looking to win over the next 3 to 5 years and maybe not this year alone. So I don't know what type of prospect package I'd be willing to give up for rentals, unless you're going to sign or extend them. But that will be the conversation as we move forward over the next month here. But in the next week or so, the Phillies have an off day on Thursday, followed by a short 6-game homestand with 3 with the Cincinnati Reds and 3 with the Arizona Diamondbacks before they get into that stretch of 20-plus straight divisional games. So as we kind of touched on in the past, man, I think bouncing back here with a 4-2 homestand would set you up to be feeling good as you got into the meat and potatoes of our schedule here for the summer.
Yeah, man, 4-2. I'm even leaning 5-1 would be nice. It's wishful thinking, but you think you take 2-3 from each of these teams and maybe get a sweep in there with one of them.
That sure would be nice. And then they face the Atlanta Braves for the first time since that opening series. And as of this recording, the Braves are a game and a half back of the Phils. So that one may be for first place as we come to you guys about a week from now.
You know, last year we had that similar situation. We came into June playing the Braves. We end up sweeping them, and we're sitting pretty at the All-Star break in first place. But you didn't have the faith you have in the team like you do this year with the professional players on this team. So hopefully by the All-Star break, we're right there in first place, and you're feeling a lot better than you were last year at this time.
Still, the starting pitching remains a concern a year later. However, I do agree with you. There is that feel that this could be sustained and possibly lead to some postseason baseball. But as of now, the Phils in first place, a game and a half up after that West Coast trip. Like I mentioned, they salvaged it, taking 2 of 3 from the Padres. And now we get a short little 6-game homestand where they've been very good at home. So hopefully they can keep this train rolling.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we get that sweep of the Reds, sweep of the Diamondbacks, 6-0, going into the play with the Braves, and we're ready to rock, sitting 3 games ahead of them with that series coming up in the near future. But all you guys out there, continue to share our Philly Fanatic podcast with all your Phillies fans, all your Braves fans, everybody out there. We're all over the platforms. Share us, like us, send it out. We will come back to you after the weekend series with the Reds with a hopeful sweep. We will talk to you guys soon. Later.
Peace.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball. Brad Lynch does it again and stays perfect for the 2008 season. 48 for 48 in save opportunities, and let the city celebrate.